Very hygienic.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening. What? Moshe is not coming today. There's a Chevra meeting this morning.
Your dads are in.
All right. Hello, you there. Okay, Rabbi, should we start? Are we ready? Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for relocation.
After the survey, before the survey.
Okay, and very good. Thank you very much. And sorry for the delay for those people who in Manchester to wait a bit longer. All right, just a little Dvadra. There's a beautiful Shlah HaKadosh that writes that the source for Ga'ava, there's three things that can cause a person to be arrogant, to have Ga'ava. One of them is brains. He's cleverer than everyone else, or he thinks he's clever anyway. His wealth, his more money, and physical, well, you know, he looks beautiful, strong, whatever it is. Now, these three forces are combated by the three mitzvot that help you combat these three issues that we might have. Very interesting. That Tefillin reminds us that intellect is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why are you proud of it? All comes from Hashem. Mezuzah on the front door to tell you your wealth. You know, at home is where you keep all your possessions and your beautiful house and whatever is inside your house. So you have to remember it comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu as well. And then putting a talit on your body, it reminds you that your body, it reminds you that we are proud with our, whatever, the way we look, the way we are. And then again here, you have to remember it comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It comes from Hashem. Thank you. So really, these are if a person internalizes the messages from these mitzvot, then he'll be fine. He won't sin. He will be, he'll be humble and just do the Avodat Hashem the way he's meant to. The Gemara in Menachot says, it's very interesting the way he connects it. Kol shesh lo tefillin berosho, utefillin bezro, vetzitzit bevigdo, umezuzah bepitcho. Anybody with tefillin on his head and on his arm, tzitzit on his garment, and mezuzah at his front door, hakol bechizuk shelo yecheta. It's a promise he's not going to sin. What's the idea? The idea, if a person internalizes these messages, then that's it is protected all around. It's very interesting that Korach had an issue with these things. Korach, we know, he questioned Moshe Rabbeinu, he says, if you have a baguette shekulot techelet, if you've got a baguette which is full of techelet, you need to put tzitzit on it. What for? What do I need tzitzit for? If I have a house full of svarim, do I need to put a mezuzah? So he had this issue with this mitzvot that should protect, to help you, mitzvot to help you focus, and because he didn't have it, he was arrogant and he fell into through the Ga'ava, he fell into the Avera of what he came to fight Moshe Rabbeinu. You know, the Rav Dessler says something very incredible. Rav Dessler writes in Mechtav Meliyahu, just like children play with toys, adults play with kavod and gava. You wish. Yeah, with it's incredible. He says children play with toys and adults play with kavod and gava, and both of them is just imagination. You know, a little boy play with a little fighter plane, and he thinks he's a pilot flying through Ukraine and shooting onto Putin and his guys over there. Anyway, so what? Okay. And okay, so children play with toys, yeah, and adults play with kavod. They think I'm this, I'm that, I'm so great. It's the same game. It's just, another version of the same toy. But this is what we can see from this parasha. We learn from Korach. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, whenever he signed a letter, and few Rabbanim had to sign, he used to put his name in the bottom. He said, I'm sure it's going to be Rabbanim greater than me. They're going to want to be signing above me. And, once he was very upset, and he said, I don't understand. They published a thing, and they put his name on top. He said, I understand, I put my name in the bottom, and when they printed it, whatever, they put his name on top. I don't understand. Then I explained, I don't understand why they do this, but maybe they do it in alphabetical order. But I don't know why they take the family name, which is Auerbach with an A, with Aleph. Why not with the first name, Shlomo, Shin, I'd be at the end. Why at the beginning? You just can't understand. That's one nice story of Shlomo Zalman. Another story of Shlomo Zalman, Eliada Goldberg, he said his father was very close to Shlomo Zalman. And one day Shlomo Zalman called the house and his little brother was 9. His brother was 9 at the time. He says, "Shalom, who is this?" He says, "That's Shlomo Zalman calling from Yerushalayim. Is your father available?" So the little boy screams, "Abba, there's a Shlomo Zalman is calling you, wants to talk to you. Can you answer?" You know, so the father said, "Shlomo Zalman." But this is when people, when he picked up the phone, when he called people, just said, "Hello, this is Shlomo Zalman. Can I speak to?" This is a person who was ever so great, and he understood what kavod. What's kavod? It's the people who are little who play with the things. Great people don't play with the things. Okay, very good. So this is just a little message. It comes actually connected to bread, but I didn't fully understand. Some Sefer, he said that I don't know if we understand. He said that matzah, lechem is gava. Yeah, matzah has got nothing in it. He quotes in the pasuk. If a person says, pasuk says in this week's parasha, no, pasuk actually says matzot ochal b'makom kadosh, which he interprets like this. He says the Torah says makom kadosh. If you want to become to a level of holiness, matzot achel, eat matzot. You want to be great, you want to be kadosh, eat matzot. Not the lechem which brings you to which Elis talks about gava. Okay, we're going to go to the halachot. We're starting a new topic now, a fascinating topic, very, very important topic, and many people don't like to learn about this topic because then every time we put into questions, how much can I eat in a kiddush? If I eat too much, I have to wash. And what about the mazonos bread? And it's a very sensitive issue in Klal Israel. Yeah. So anyway, it's a problem. I was talking to somebody recently, and he said, "Oh, this mazonos bread destroyed my family." So really, what happened? He says, because we used to do mazonos bread, and they stopped washing. And unfortunately, they got used to so not washing. They stopped washing for bread as well. You know, I don't know. He was really upset. He said, you know, the whole thing, the people, when we eat bread, you wash. You stop washing, then you lose the thing of washing. And maybe they only wash on Shabbat. During the week, they don't wash anymore, not even for bread. So you can be, You don't agree to this. I don't agree either. It didn't happen to me, but I find it.
So you never get an earmark because then you.
I agree 100%. I didn't agree to him, but he told me. He just happened to tell me. Somebody told me this last night. So yeah, I don't agree. You're right. But we have to put things in perspective. At least we have to do what's right anyway. We have to get it right. So let's go with a few questions. Let's see how. Ask a few questions. Okay, let's go to basics. Rabotai. We're going to be starting learning Siman Kuf Samechet. Can anybody define Pat Abba Bekisnin? Anybody can give me a good definition of Pat Abba Bekisnin? Very nice. Okay, we'll elaborate on this. There's the 3 parts. And then what? So what do you do? Pat Abba Bekisnin. Then what do you do with the Pat Abba Bekisnin?
It's not the tongue, not the Seuda.
So Pat Abba Bekisnin is for sure mezonot. So you never say Hamotzi. No, so do you need all 3 conditions or one of the 3 conditions? You need all 3 in order to be for sure mezonot, or one of the 3. Okay. Well,
No, then the amount.
Okay, so Rabotai, okay, so there's a lot to talk about it. So the 3 things we need to define. Pat Abba Bekisnin. We're gonna learn it properly. I'm just throwing terms now, but this is going to be a very important word in the next few shiurim. But Pat Abba Bekisnin, it's something we have to define what it is. But on one hand, it's a bread that you say mezonot onto. It's not motzi because it's Abba Bekisnin. But on the other hand, if you eat too much of it, you're going to say motzi pekat Amazon. We've got 2 sides to it, which we're going to elaborate on. Now, let's talk about this practical cases. So you're in shul on Shabbat morning. There's a mega kiddush because there's a big, big simcha, bar mitzvah, oifruch, bread, whatever it is. They do a big kiddush on Shabbat morning. Yeah, there's the certificates and everything. They do a big kiddush, and they 8 different type of herring, sushi, crackers, cake, cholent, and everything else you can imagine. Yes. Wow. Okay, so you are, as it's written here, you are pressing a vest, which means you are stuffing your face in English. In Yiddish, you say pressing avec. Yeah, you stuff your face, and then you don't eat that home. And then that's what. Or now your friend tells you, "I hope you washed before eating all these cakes." Some people like, no, they wash before, but do you have to actually wash or not? So what is the thing? Do you actually notice that people queue up, to wash it Yadayim before the big kiddush? You don't. So, Khalas, yeah, but, so that's the question. Is there any quantity that to be aware of? Who's actually measuring? No, he takes thing, measure how much cake I'm having. Okay, then I can say, if not, Bekat Amazon. So
The guy that's measuring never gets you that.
because the amount.
It's the guy that's not measuring.
Okay. So there, we'll have to explain this because this is a very delicate topic.
It's not that much.
It's not that much, you're right?
It looks like a lot. But if you have Rogalov cookish cake,
Yeah.
you can easily get to the.
Actually, there's a video, but we don't have the screen. So next year I'll show you the video. Yeah. So it's actually very, 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 very relevant, and we have to know how to do this. So we should get it right. At least we know what to do. Yes, very good. And don't forget the bar mitzvah of David Cohen Bar Avraham in the Garrison Library. Yet signs everywhere. That was my welcome to Gibraltar. Sign that Rabbi Hasid says that if you have 4 slices of brioche, you should say, I would see. You remember?
So he must be learning that sugi at the time.
No, who was? I don't know.
So he got very strict.
Okay, anyway. Next. All right. Bekitzo. So you got this frum guy who tells you, I hope you washed. Next to you is another friend who says, I only had 1 kazait of crackers, and then I just filled up on kugel. And what's yaptik? I feel such an amoris. What's yaptik?
It's potato kugel.
Yeah.
There's meat on the bottom, and the top is potato kugel.
So let me tell you, I'm very embarrassed. I don't know what yapchik is, but I saw on someone's status last week, Moses. I saw someone's status last week on Galit something, and she showed Kugel's the yapchik, and I was looking at it. What is yapchik? Yeah. Kevin Wensa wrote this. Okay. All right. Checkmate. Okay. So wait, it's Kugel and Kugel, did you say? Okay. Huh? Okay, I'll be saying. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we need to make yapchik. Can you watch make yapchik?
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay. All right. So anyway, let's go back to our question here. So Bekitza, the guy with next to you, he says, I've eaten a few crackers, just a kazait of crackers, and I fill up with potato kugel, yapchik, tortilla. What? Now, the question is, does he need to wash or not? You just said the kazait of crackers, but with it, you had a mountain of other food. Do you need to wash or not?
No.
You don't combine them together.
You don't combine. All right, so we'll have to the big shell this. Another question. Okay. So we said. Okay, so we said, Rabotai. Amen. Okay, if you eat whatever is going to be pata בכיסנין. I don't know, apparently it's not. No, what it is? It's not. Yeah.
It seems on the packet. I know it's not necessarily.
Okay, Rabotai, can we carry on? Another question. Okay, practical question. We said that if you eat a big amount of pata בכיסנין, even though it's mezonot, by big amount, it's going to be already amotzi bikat Amazon. Right? So therefore, you should avoid eating 4 kabetzim. Going to some opinion, we'll see. 4 kabetzim of pata בכיסנין. Does anybody know how much is 4 kabetza?
About 40 grams.
40 grams.
What? How much? 54 grams for 4 kabitza? 4 kabitza.
It's not weight.
Oops, I need to charge it.
Okay, 20 grams.
No, but it's when you look at the diagram.
It's irrelevant of weight.
How will I get it?
Centimeter cubes or whatever it is. 11 ounces.
Apologies for the commercial. We'll be back in a few minutes.
As much as you're worth.
I don't know.
Can you plug this over there?
One upstairs.
You know? There's one by the first floor. There's one on the first floor.
Yeah, okay.
They won't work. On the first floor, there's one.
Something here?
Plugged in, there's one on the first floor.
They plug there. Do you hungry?
No. Okay, so let's continue. Sorry. Okay, so how much is 4 eggs? 4 kabitza. About in grams. Okay, so 4 kabitzim is not so much. If you think about it, it's not so much. Okay, I'll give you a practical example when we learn it. There's actually a little video that was very useful to see. How much? 40. For 4 kabitza. All right, okay, we're going to see all the measurements. Once again. All right, okay, so we will, okay, thank you very much. John, that will work. You put this in here?
All right. Very good.
Right. Okay, excellent. All right, let's continue. Okay, we'll stop with the questions. I think there's enough to discuss. Let's go straight to the Chastiman Kuf Samechet. Kuf Samechet, sorry. Kuf Samechet, we ready? So we learned till now, people are wondering what does this got to be with Netilat Yadayim? The answer is got nothing to do with Netilat Yadayim. We're learning the Seuda right now, and you start with washing your hands. This was only part 1. After Netilat Yadayim comes the actual meal. So we have to discuss it. Siman Kuf Samechet has got 2 parts to it. Why?
You don't wash for
You have to know when it's in order.
It does have some connection to
Why?
the season. Talks about if you forgot, if you intended on eating less than 4 kabitzim and you change your mind in the middle.
Yeah, that comes up after. So wash in the middle as well. Very good. Okay, it's coming up. Yeah. Okay. So Robert, what? It is very, very complicated.
Now.
Apparently, a lot of soup is the hardest. Yeah.
Chocolate.
That's why. That's what. You see, I was in the mirror. I was sitting next to, Sefer V'zot HaBracha.
Yes.
V'zot HaBracha. You write Yichot Brachot. Yeah. Oh wow. So he writes. So I used to sit next to him in a dining room in the mirror. Like we have, that was my makom kavod. So every time he told me what to say and what not to say, it was very convenient. Okay, so after learning the halachot Yadayim, we're going to go to Siman Kuf Samechet. Kuf Samechet got 2 parts. The first part which we're going to skip the first part is talking about if you have a choice of all different breads, what is the seder habrachot? You've got bagels, you've got sourdough bread, you've got grain sliced. What comes first? But we're not going. That's one topic. What's the precedent? And the second part will be when do you say hamotzi and when you don't say hamotzi. So the first part, B'ezrat Hashem, that we're going to learn later, when we learn Hilchot Brachot in general, when you've got Ha'etz, Ha'adama, Shvat HaMinim, when you learn about this, we're going to also talk about what's the order for the bread. So we're going to skip the first part of the Siman, and we're going to go to the second part, which is the criteria of when it's hamotzi and when it's mezonot, when it's Birkat Hamazon, when it's Al HaMechia. Okay, so this is the topic we're going to focus on now. It seems like that's going to be, I don't know, it says the futures, man, doesn't say when. I'm trying to work out what we're learning next term, I don't know. It says future. Okay, in any case, introduction. There are two types of food that you'd say mezonot for, okay? One of them is called pata בכיסנין. Pata בכיסנין, we're going to define it later, but what's special about pata בכיסנין, that it resembles breads, okay? It looks like bread, but it's not bread for some other reasons. It looks like bread. And then you've got something else called maaseh kdera, or tavshil mezonot. It's a cooked dish of mezonot. For example, which it's made from the 5 grains, but it doesn't look like bread at all. For example, like crepe. Crepe, no, crepe, what do you call it? Pancakes, or very good, the things that you cook, like pasta or oatmeal that you cook, porridge. So all the things it's the same ingredient, it just doesn't look like bread at all. So pata בכיסנין, it's baked like a bread, but for some reason we don't call it bread. And then you've got other things which are totally different. It's actually just, it's like a dish as opposed to a bread. So the difference between the two is that something that looks like bread, if you eat a big quantity of it, it's got a din of bread. You're going to have to say hamotzi Birkat Hamazon, because it looks like bread. Once you eat a big quantity, then we see what it is. Then if you're going to have to wash, say hamotzi Birkat Hamazon. But a tavshil mezonot dish like pasta doesn't look like bread at all. You can eat as much as you want of it. It's going to be mezonot and Al HaMechia. It doesn't make any difference because it's not bread. Something that looks like bread, but for some reason we treat it as a cake, whatever. Then it's mezonot until a certain amount. But if it doesn't look like bread at all, then it's always going to remain mezonot and Al HaMechia.
But even on that, we have a machloket from the Yerushalmi Kugel.
Oh, very good, Nachon. Oh, yeah? Yeah, we're going to talk about it. It's coming up. Okay, but so basically, what we have to one thing we have to determine what fits in category A, what's B. What is called pata בכיסנין and what is not pata בכיסנין. It's very important to know, because if it's not pata בכיסנין, it's just a normal dish. There's nothing to talk about. It's always going to be mezonot and Al HaMechia. So it's complicated. You have to know what is it, what falls into this category, what falls into that category. So let's start with the Gemara in Masechet Brachot. If you've got the booklet with you, kol hakavod. If not, please share with the people next to you. And it goes like this. The Gemara in Masechet Brachot. Let's learn the sugya together. Number 1. Rav Yehuda avait asik le libre b'Rav Yehuda. So Rav Yehuda was marrying his son to the daughter of Rav Yehuda bar Chaviva. Okay, so they brought to them pat הבאה בכיסנין. They brought to the table what's called pat הבאה בכיסנין, which we'll define later. Tiata. So when he came, Shaminu, he was sitting on the table. Shaminu come hamotzi. He sits and says, hamotzi lechem minat, hamotzi like. He said, what's going on? Ma Leu, my tzitzi lekashamina. What's going on here? I expected mezonot, and all I'm hearing is tzitzi. Yeah, what's the tzitzis I'm hearing here? What? Dinma motzi lechem minat v'achita? You think hamotzi? Amrele, yes, of course. Amrele in. The Tanya Rabbi Mona Omer Mishum Rav Yehuda. Rav Mona says the name of Rav Yehuda. Pat הבאה בכיסנין מבכים עליה המוציא. Even though it's pat, it's bread which is באה בכיסנין. It's not a typical bread. It's still המוציא. And ואמר שמואל הלכה כרבי מונה. This is the הלכה. אמר לו, he says no. אין הלכה כרבי מונה יתמר. It's not true. He says the halacha is not like Rabbi Mona. You don't say hamotzi. But what do you mean? Thank you. ואמר עוד אמר, משפט שמואל, and also by you yourself said, לחמניות, מערבין בהם, לחמניות, which is פת הבאה בכיסנין, מערבין בהם, you can use it for עירוב תחומין, I think it's עירוב תחומין, if I'm not mistaken, ומברכים עליהם המוציא, you can say המוציא, you should say המוציא on it. You yourself said it, and it's not the halakha. What's going on here? We are very confused. We said המוציא, you complained, you said halakha is not like this, but you yourself said that you should say המוציא, and you answered it's different, and here comes the yesod here. Shane hatam. When do I say המוציא, it's different to kava seudatayu alayu. When you kovea seuda, if you make a meal out of this pata הבאה בכיסנין, then it's going to be hamotzi. But by you, when you brought these cakes here, no, because here is not kovea seuda, then not. I don't know. I find it very interesting. This was a wedding, right? Was it? Was it a wedding or was it before the wedding? I don't exactly understand what was this celebration of that, and it's not kovea seuda. I don't exactly scenario, but obviously it was a situation where they were not kovea seuda on it. And therefore, maybe it was just a kid that shafted the chuppah. I don't know, a little reception. I don't know. In any case, it's so we see clearly from the Gemara the pat הבאה בכיסנין, it's mezonot unless you kovea seuda on it. So this is the maskana of the Gemara. Bet Yosef, he quotes a three-way machloket between Rishonim. How to define pat הבאה בכיסנין. So let's see. Let's read the Bet Yosef together. Bet Yosef is on number 2. Definition number 1. Pat הבאה בכיסנין. What's the number 1? Which we're going to say mezonot unless you kovea seuda. Pat הבאה בכיסנין והוא פת שעשוי ממין כמין כיסים מלאים סוכר. Pockets full of sugar, שקדים, almonds, אגונים, nuts, ומיני תבלין and spices, מברכים עליו, מיני מזונות לפני מזונות. So, it's dough bread, it's a normal dough bread, but it's filled like pain au chocolat. Pain au chocolat, it's a pain, which is bread, or chocolat, with chocolate inside. So, the fact, if it's filled with other items, fruits, sugar, chocolate, whatever, that makes it, changes from being a bread to being a cake. Next one. Okay, and it is and a Bet Yosef writes, that's a tool in written in square print letters. And now we're reading Bet Yosef. What Rabbeinu wrote, Pat הבאה בכיסנין, the first interpretation we gave here, this is Pirush Rabbeinu Hananel. Okay, so let's remember, if it's filled, it's the opinion of Rabbeinu Hananel, which is mezonot. Second opinion, והרמב"ם. כתב בפרק ג' מהלכות ברכות, what is the definition of פת הבאה בכיסנין? שהיא עיסה שנילושה בדבש. The dough is actually kneaded. Instead of using water, you put honey, shemen, oil, chalav, milk, or שעירב בה מיני תבלין, or you mix some spices with it. So in the dough itself, it's got an element of things which are not usually in bread, which is more in a cake. ואפן, you bake it like this. So this is the Rambam. Okay, so it's a sweet dough, basically. And the third opinion is the opinion, yes, so that's going to be like the sweet chalot, etc., brioche. It falls into the category of number 2. And then number 3, it's not water. You're right, David, it's a deep flavor. No, latafka, you're right. He says minet avlin as well, right? So the dough contains other things which are not just water. Either. Sweet, I mean, dvash, shemen, or chalav, or shemen also, oil. Oil is also not sweet. Okay, it depends on the ratio. It depends on the ratio.
The Bet Yosef actually says that the next word in the Bet Yosef
He takes the word rof? What? He says rof? When Bet Yosef says rof?
כן, אצל והיה נראה לו מה דהיינו דווקא שלא נחל מים אלא מעל, אבל אם נחל במים הרבה...
we're going to talk about this later, I think. You definitely want to show.
Next word.
Okay. All right, בסדר. Okay, and now... Yeah, we're going to talk about it later. Now, Pirush Od, now there's a third opinion. So you got so far Rabbeinu Hananel, Rambam, now you got Rabbeinu Hai. Pat Abba Bekisnin, who Keachin, it's like I don't know, crackers, you say it. Okay? Veipat, Ben Metubelet, Ben Metubelet. I don't care whether it's got flavors or not, spices, spices or not. שעושים אותה כאחים יבשים because עושים אותם. Crackers is made into dry, crunchy stuff that makes it pat haba bekisnin. Okay, so we've got three definitions here. We've got the Rabbeinu Hananel who says it's filled. Rambam who says that it's needed with, instead of using water, use other things. And the third opinion, which is Rabbeinu Hai, if it's hard and crunchy, crackers type of thing. Very good. So here we have the three opinions. Shulchan Aruch in Seif Zayin, we're going to start using Shulchan Aruch. If you have one with you, it's good. Maybe Rabbi Dudi wants to share Mishabura. Can you share Shulchan Aruch Mishabura or not? So you can get on your phone.
Naftali Biton has given a 58-page booklet of Marema Kawatsu and Fatzah.
For people who are not here. Okay.
Thank you, Naftali.
Thank you, Naftali. Okay, and now, thank you, very clever. Now, the Shulchan Aruch, Seif Zayin, quotes all three opinions. Let's read the Shulchan Aruch, it's all here. Pat הבא בכיסנין. יש מפרשים, פת עשוי כמין כיסים שממלאים אותם דבש או סוכר ואגוזים ושקדים ותבלין, והם הנקראים, I can't read this Spanish here. How do you read this word? הנקראים? רש קולח, חלש, whatever. It's usually Spanish words, I don't know what they are. No, it's not Spanish to you? Huh? It's always Spanish, but I just don't know what these words mean.
Someone speaks Spanish. Come on.
Res Kolas?
Spit it out. You speak Spanish?
Seif Zayin. Shulchan Aruch Seif Zayin. I don't know. Anyway, it's basically Res Kolas there. Okay, anyway, usually better separate in Spanish. I don't know. You know, you don't know? It's probably from Barcelona, not from Murcia. Okay, that's it. Anyway, okay, anyway, that's the first opinion. This is the opinion of Rabbeinu Hananel. The next one, יש אומרים שיישא שירי פת דבש. Some people say it's a dose, you mix honey with it, or shemen, or chalav, or מיני תבלין והפאה. And here comes an important addition. והוא שיתם תערובת המי פירות התבלינים ניכר בעיסה. Shulchan Aruch says it's very important. If you are in the dough itself, you do add some other ingredients, it has to be, it actually taste it. If you put mei perot, you put orange juice, if you taste of orange, or tavlin or spices, you have to taste it. Well, not that you can't taste it. Yeah. He's adding this in opinion of the Hananel says that's the Rambam's opinion. Rambam's opinion. First one of Rambam. Rambam said that it's he didn't say about the first one. ויש אומרים yes. Okay, now there's an important machloket. There's an important Rabotai. Can we have attention here? There's an important machloket Shulchan Aruch Ramah here, which hence the big machloket always between Ashkenazim and Sephardim. Therefore, Sephardim it's Mezanot, Ashkenazim is Amotzi. So here comes the machloket in the opinion of the Rambam. In the opinion of the Rambam, which says that if it's needed with other things, with fruit juice, etc., and the Rambam says you have to be able to taste it. And the Rama says more, ויש אומרים שזה נקרא פת גמור. The fact that it tastes sweet, it's proper bread. אלא אם כן יש בהם הרבה תבלין או דבש. It says to be a lot of spices or a lot of honey, כמיני מתיקה שקוראים לקח, like לקח, which is cake. שכמעט הדבש והתבלין הם העיקר. It's to be that the honey and the spices the העיקר וכן נוהגים. So it's not just you put something little underneath to make it sweet, and that's it. For me now it's mezonot. No, it has to be a cake. So it's just a sweet mezonot bread. A little bit of sweetness. As long as you can taste it.
Don't eat the sweet challah.
That's right. The sweet challah you get in Israel. The sweet. No, the dough itself has got sugar.
Okay, so you have a normal canal. You put some honey on top. Is not now.
No. For sure, motzi. For sure, motzi.
Yes,
It's to be baked with it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but in the dough itself, according to the first opinion, you bake it with sugar inside or whatever, you put nuts or whatever inside. And the second opinion is the dough itself is made when you make the dough with sugar.
And you have to taste it.
So the Shulchan says it's nikar, the tam is nikar, but the Rama says not just nikar, Rama it says that it's only considered if the taste is a ikar, is a dominant flavor in it. Okay, it's not just a sweet challah, it's a cake. Okay, so according to the Rama, how do you define it? For Ashkenazim, in Shavua Lamed Gimel, he says, how do you call it that the flavor is a ikar? So he says, what's the Rama shekol kach tavlin meurav bahen. There's so much spice. You feel the spice more than the flour. Also, if you put honey, oil, milk, it has to be the majority of the liquid they are using to knead the dough. The majority of the liquid has to be the honey or the fruit juice, whatever it is, and the minority is going to be the water. Okay, שעל-ידי זה נרגש במטעם הרבה מאוד, אז זה ממש feel the flavor, עד שעל-ידי הם העיקר, וטעם העיסה תפל, אז that's the עיקר, the flavor, the normal flavor of bread is תפל. Okay, so this is also, now, the Rama is adding the first opinion of Shulchan Aruch also, to make the first opinion, which is, if it's a cake which is filled with, like brioche, croissant, whatever, which is filled in, chocolate, whatever, has to be, שיהיה מילוי הרבה כל כך, has to be so much filling, עד שעל ידי זה יהיה נרגש הטעם הרבה מאוד, to be a lot of flavor. If you put one little chocolate chip inside of bread, it's not going to be considered a... so for example, Ashkenazim do on Rosh Hashanah, you get bread with raisins inside. It's still a motzi, because you've got a bit of raisin here and there. That has to be a proper thing, like a kokosh cake. Yeah, the big shela, the kokosh cake, the end of it, when you roll it, it's a lot of chocolate, but the end of it doesn't have so much chocolate. It could be already a motzi, I don't know what people do about these things. I heard once Falk talking about it. I don't know.
They also, they're very sweet.
What?
Not just raisins, they're very sweet.
I know, but for Ashkenazim, it's still not enough. You've got the two shitot here.
Yeah.
The first shita, if it's memule, the fact that you've got raisins, it's not memule.
Right?
So as I'm saying, for something to become a cake, you have to have a lot of chocolate or a lot of fruit inside. What?
For example, if you make a manchala for it, that's memule.
A what?
Man.
I don't know the one.
You black dot.
Poppy seeds.
Hamantashen,
Yeah.
So people make manchala, they put inside the man.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Yes. So you look. According to Shulchan Aruch, if it tastes sweet, it's a hamotzi. It's mezonotary. And according to the Rama, has to be the main ingredients of the liquid put inside the bread. And even the stuff is machloket, if it's actually majority fruit juice, but it still tastes like bread. It's just that's already machloket achronim. The Rav Nissim Kareli says if the taste is not significantly different, it's still hamotzi. So for mezonos bread to be mamash mezonos bread, has to be the mamash taste of the orange juice or whatever you put inside. But according to the Tshuvot Vanagot, he quotes a Maharsham who says no. Once you've got 51% fruit juice, it's a mezonot. So you just look at ratio, not at the flavor. Just grape juice.
And but it's still it wasn't sweet. It was
Okay, it doesn't have to be sweet. It has to be different, very different. It tastes of grapes, not of water.
very
Oh yeah. I understand. I don't want to tell you. So I'll tell you. Here comes the machloket. If it still tastes like bread, according to Nissim Karel, it doesn't work. According to the Maharsham, he says if once it's a majority of fruit juice, you're fine.
It was complete fruit juice.
Yeah, so for sure, it's not.
Beer was also fruit juice.
Yeah. Beer, whiskey bread. All right.
Are we talking about only sugar? You can't put spaghetti beans. There's a lot of oil.
Oil, yeah. The Italian bread is a lot of oil. But that's not baked. It's the oil is in the dough. It's added before you bake it. Yeah, but you need the dough with water. You just put lots of oil afterwards before you bake it.
I don't think it's in the
You make it, Alan? You have to go to Rabbi Sebag.
The last minute.
Yeah, a bit, no, but Mrs. Sebag makes it, wow, the real thing. You're like swimming in it. Yeah.
Even pizza, for example, that's one hotel. The dough is a mozzito.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it.
You put tomato paste on top and it's
Change, chips in, yeah.
the same thing as this. It's all
But it becomes part of the dough. Yeah.
But I don't think you could.
Okay.
Oil.
No, but it's going to be,
Otherwise, won't be able to eat.
once we go to examples,
No, not that. They don't bake it with a lot of oil as well.
okay, Abatai. Yeah, I think we should continue. We are just laying the foundations now. We're going to have a whole shiur or two just of examples. Because there's so many examples that are practical. Okay, Abatai. Why is it when we talk about food, there's so much talking going on? Okay, so now.
Understand exactly. Yes, let's talk about the oil, yeah?
Yeah.
I said that I'm 51%. How we make it?
As I said, 51% according to the Marasham.
According to Svedin, you just have to taste the oil.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Very good. Okay, so Abatai, we'll continue.
Yeah, but this does, all these things don't help if you're Kabir Seuda.
Okay, we're not even there yet. Later, yeah. We're not going to yet. Okay, again, there are two parts of today's shiur on the table. Okay, now, but listen, Shah, I'm just laying the foundations. First, we're going to decide what's bread, what's pataba bekisnin. If it's bread, it's hamotzi, even if you eat a little bit. If it's pataba bekisnin, then it comes to it's mezonot, unless you have bigger mouth. She's part 2 of the shiur. So let's continue. Shulchan Aruch and Seif Vav, and we're going to talk about many examples. It's going to be fascinating. Maybe we should come with physical examples. We should bring to the table all the pizza. We have pizza week maybe. Danny Rudik is gonna. Okay, so Shulchan Aruch Seif Vav. Shulchan Aruch Seif Vav. The rate we go, we might get to the 9 days time we finish the siman here. Okay, so Shulchan Aruch Seif Vav writes: Pataba bekisnin mevarech alav. בורא מיני מזונות ולאחריו ברכה אחת מן 3 על המחיה. ויר מאכל ממנו שיעור. If you eat an amount שאחרים רגילים לקבוע עליו the people הקובע סעודה on it, אף על פי שהוא לא שבע ממנו. Even he's not satisfied, he's used to it much more. But standard people do get satiated by this bread, מברך, by this פת הבא בכיסנין, sorry, מברך עליו המוציא וברכת המזון. Okay, so what does it say? Generally, it's mezonot al michya, unless you eat an amount that people generally eat to be koveh seuda on it. Yeah, I'm gonna what? Gum? We're gonna get it. We're gonna do it. Yeah, okay. So the Mishnah Berurah. No, you're right. It's gonna be machloket on this as well. We'll see. Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Chaf Gimel before Chaf He explains. That some, but just a simple, not much lomdas. It just explains that even the bread normally it's hamotzi. Any amount of bread you eat is hamotzi, right? Kazait already you see bekat hamazon. Bread, any amount, you have a little crumb of bread is hamotzi, and if you have kazait, it's bekat hamazon. But this is different because and derech ben adam ikba sudata nalem. People don't usually make a meal out of cakes, generally not. Usually it's eaten derech arai as a snack, yeah. It's eaten on the go, kind of, yeah. So this, because it's not considered a seuda, therefore it's a mezonot and ala michya, right? But if you eat shiur kivut seuda, then it's back to being like a normal bread. Bread is something you kover seuda. Therefore, any amount by default is going to be hamotzi bikat hamazon. Cakes you don't usually make a seuda unless you make it into seuda. It's going to be mezonot and hamotzi bikat hamazon. Because it's bread. Okay, that's the next shayla. Very good. Now Shulchan Aruch says that if somebody is kover seuda, like we just said, then you would have to say wash his hands. Okay.
At what time? When you pass the one that-
Mishtabara Siv Katan Chaf Her, as Rabbi Dadash pointed out, Hamotzi Birkat Hamazon v'gam Netilat Yadayim. You have to also wash your hands. Kamo bepat gamur. So the moment you decide to make a seuda out of your mezonot bread, out of your cakes, then you're going to have to say Hamotzi b'Netilat Yadayim as well. Kamvuar le'el Timakuf Nunchet Seif Aleph Ayin Sham. Okay, so you have to do you actually say bracha of Netilat Yadayim or not?
I know.
So, so Pastor said, Shabbos says you say Netilat Yadayim. It's very interesting to know. I didn't know this. Did you know this? That the Yalkut Yosef said that even though you wash your hands, you don't say bracha. You didn't know this? I also didn't know. But if somebody wants to say bracha, yesh al mi lismoch. Yeah, this is what we allow on. But be'etzem you can't. Okay, so whenever we're going to talk about in the next shiurim, whatever, that you have to wash for pata bekhisim and zibikat hamazon, then you for sure have to wash. Question if you say Netilat Yadayim or not. Mishavah says you do say Netilat Yadayim. But Yosef says Tom Muchach that you have. If you do, it's okay. But no, Hamotzi and bikat hamazon. But if you say bracha Netilat Yadayim, I don't know. I didn't check it up. I didn't check it up. It's in I don't know. Check. It doesn't say. It's just on the footnote in the bottom. You write here. Kufnun Chetzif Katan Vav. I didn't check it up. Okay. In any case, we're going to continue. It's on the main text. It's just a footnote. It's Kufnun Chet Seif Vav.
Go to a pizza place for a meal, right?
Yeah.
And
We're going to talk about it. We're going to make the definition.
because you are that is correct, even though it's less than 3 or 2 meal can be more.
Okay, we're going to see after today's show. Maybe we'll come to a conclusion.
Pizza this week was.
I don't know. I do. I was in America, and I didn't know in America where the pizza was not. I'm going to there. I see guys with long beards, and I think I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. So I said, so what did you do? You know, you can't say that. Go nobody can answer you. I'm walking around and is it a mitzvah? Is it I don't know.
It was not. It was Mendelssohn.
Which one?
Mendelssohn.
Where? Ah, yeah.
Very sweet.
Victoria asked guys, oh no,
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're going to talk about pizza, but Hashem in due course. All right. So, what is considered? Okay, let's develop this halakha. What is considered kover seuda? So, Shulchan Aruch says very clearly, it's got to do with the general consensus of people. It's nothing to do with you. It's what people generally do. So, if you eat an amount which most people would consider it a meal, even though you are personally still hungry, but people eat this amount for a meal, you have to say hamotzi bikat hamazon. Netilat Yadayim hamotzi bikat hamazon. Okay, or the other way around. Even if you eat a little bit, less than the amount that most people make a seuda, but you are full. Again, according to Shulchan Aruch, you don't say hamotzi because the fact that you've got small appetite, it doesn't change halacha for you. It's got to do with derech bnei adam to be kover seuda. It's very important to know why it's derech bnei adam. So, okay, so what is considered kover seuda? This is the $1 million question. What is actually considered kover seuda? What's normal? How do you define what's normal? So, B'Shabura in Sif Katan Kaf Daled gives us some indication. It's actually a machloket.
Yeah.
The first opinion, let's skip the first part. We're going to talk about the first part later, but it's like in the bottom of the page in this edition. The Shiur Seuda. Yeah, he starts with when it comes to Rabbi Techumin, he tells you how much is Shiur Seuda, or Gimel, or Dalet Betzim? The amount of 3 or 4 eggs. Okay, 3 or 4. So Mishabah is trying to give you clarity here, and then it tells you it's like 3 or 4. Okay, to begin with. This is one opinion. וכתבו כמה אחרונים, people say because of עירובי תחומים, this is the amount, so he also, what אם כאן חשיב את זה שיעור קביעות סעודה. So that's opinion number 1. קביעות סעודה is going to be 3 or 4 eggs. אבל כמה אחרונים, yeah, that's actually the opinion of the מחצית השקל, it's 3 or 4 eggs. Second opinion, which is, we're going to see now, it's the Gaon Mevina, Agra, and also the Magen Avraham. He says, חולקים בין עד האחרונים, סבירה לא דלבך המוציא ברכת המזון, no, to say המוציא ברכת המזון has to be אלא כשיעור סעודה קבוע של ערב ובוקר. It has to be a proper meal that people have either for supper or for breakfast. וכמו שכתב בבית הספר שם שיבולי לקט, so it has to be not just 3 or 4 eggs, it has to be what is considered a proper full. Could be less. I think people say usually it's more.
Someone usually has 3
No,
slices
it's not
of
about-
bread.
I don't know, it's usually more.
Someone has 3
No, it's not
slices
like
of bread.
objective. It's not. No, one person had one topic bread. This is
Can be right. So it's got to do, it's
subjective.
Yeah. Ramoshe Feinstein.
Well, obviously,
Ramoshe Feinstein says the exact amount it varies according to culture and society. So it's a bit difficult to establish that it was considered what people have for a meal. I don't know. In France, you have a whole baguette for breakfast.
That's perfect.
Okay.
One each.
I used to come home every morning from the bakery. How many kids in the family? 8 kids. Okay, 8 baguettes.
Nine.
You know. Of course, I can eat less. You cut the baguettes, put jam in it, and butter, jam, and then in hot chocolate. No. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
I was in a yeshiva in France, and the Rosh Yeshiva used to buy baguettes of bread, and we used to eat it a day later because he said it's unhealthy to eat fresh bread. Unhealthy for the pockets of the yeshiva. You know, when it's old, you can't eat old baguettes. You know. So now the Maaseh, the Mishnah Berurah writes. Okay, the Mishnah Berurah writes that it's best to be stringent and not eat 4 eggs. Okay, Mishnah Berurah concludes. That's the Mishnah Berurah. מקום לכתחילה טוב לחוש לדעת המחמירים. So Mishnah Berurah calls it a chumrah. In other words, we should understand that 4 betzim is less than what people are generally koveach seuda with. Okay, so טוב לחוש לדעת המחמירים שלא לאכול 4 ביצים. Okay, וכל שכן אם הוא דבר. Okay, that's the thing. So Mishnah Berurah is machmir not to eat 4 eggs. It's interesting. Mishnah Berurah starts saying 3 or 4 eggs. When it comes to be machmir, he says don't eat more than 4. Okay, or I mean don't eat 4. Once it comes to 4, you have a she'ela already. He doesn't say 3, 4 anymore. Why is it changing? Why is it changing? The first shita says 3 eggs or 4 eggs.
You shouldn't eat between 3 and 4.
So Mishnah Berurah says make sure not to eat lo lechol 4 betzim. Eat 3.5. You should still not eat 3. You should be machmir. For some reason, Mishnah Berurah here dropped to number 3. He says, don't eat 4. I know it's Gaon Mevina says you can eat until 7 eggs. I don't know how much. When people are koveach seuda, be machmir, not to eat more than 4. Not eat 4. I mean. Oh, so Klapei the Gaon Mevina is machmir is 4, but he doesn't take the chumrah as far as to go to number 3. So that's what Moshe Feinstein said. He says even though Mishnah Berurah quotes before he said 3 eggs, but he paskin you don't, because you've got mitzvah sheni the Gaon Mevilna, who allows you to have even more than 4. So because 3 and 4, we can go up to 4. No, I mean not 4, just less than 4. Once you come to 4 betzim, you already have a big she'ela.
That usually real they have more than 4 betzim.
That's what's much by Mishnah Berurah.
If, for example, now most people have only 4 slices, less than.
How would you find that?
You're talking about the meal or the whole
The whole, including the food, that's going to be the next she'ela. That comes up in yeah, we're going to talk about this now. Yeah.
How many slices do you have?
I tell you, in olden days, yeah. Dudi, one thing is, I'm saying, you say people eat much less. Today, we have bread and a million other things at the table, so eat less bread. In those days, if you said it was bread, just ask Melach, my memsura said bread. You did much more than 4 slices. If this is the entire meal.
Just before that, and it's-
Oh, I'm going to go into now. That's the next liquid. I'm just saying.
It's not much, but I have just bread.
I know. Okay. No. Okay. Mishavua Siv Katan Chav Dalet, at the beginning, he quotes the Magen Avraham. It's just another very important machloket here. The Magen Avraham says, when you calculate the amount for a meal, whether it's 4 eggs, okay, the food that are eaten together with the bread are included in calculation. Very important.
One slice of bread.
I'm reading inside. Katvu Acharonim, beginning of Chav Dalet. Katvu Acharonim, Dimachlo. Okay, let's listen to this important fact. You ready? Listen to this. Beginning of the Mishnah Berurah. The Achronim say, Imachlu levado. If you just eat bread, then you calculate the shiur the people are kover Seuda, right? But v'imachlo im basar. If the meal has got bread and meat or dvarim acherim, they come together with the bread. Shochel shiur, and if the whole together it's a proper meal, yeah, then it is b'amenu kshochim gam kem dvarim acherim. Then it's already a shela of Yud Seuda, and it's going to be a motzi. Okay, so according to Mishnah Berurah, he quotes here the Magen Avraham that we do combine other foods together with the bread that you eat.
But you have to have a minimum of it.
So if let's say you have 2 eggs, let's say for example, you have 2 kabetza of bread of pataba bekisnin and 2 kabetza of meat or other food. According to Mishnah Berurah, it's already a she'ela. It could be a chashash that you have to say motzi and begat hamazon.
Are we saying that 2 kabetzot, kabetzim are the minimum?
No.
You can be even 1 and 3. You said that everything combined.
We said tip 4, but you combine the 2. Mishnah Berurah brings the Magen Avraham that you do combine. So because you've got the shita, the later on Mishnah Berurah says that at 4 kabetzim you have to be machmir already. Then
So understand, so we can feed half a kabetza, and the rest is meat.
okay, so yeah, you combine the 2.
You combine.
Avik kabetza is a kazait. If you eat a kazait of bread together with a big meal, it's already a she'ela of a motzi, according to Mishnah Berurah. Okay, so that's the Shulchan Aruch. Rav Ovadia quoted in Yalkut Yosef. We're going to read it night number 3. He argues and he says you only look at the bread alone. Let's read Yalkut Yosef. Akovaso number 3. Akovaso dato al pat haba bekisnin ubetziruf habasar. He's making a seuda together with the meat you eat. Shiur 72 dirham. Dram. It's not dirham. Adraham. Okay. Lo chashiv kekova seuda. I thought it's not okay. לא חשוב כקובע סעודה לפתה בתקנין שאין לצרף לשיעור זה מאכלים אחרים. So Shulchan Aruch says we don't combine, so Yalkut Yosef says we don't combine the other foods with it. So it's a big machloket to Mishnah Berurah, and for example Rav Ovadia says we don't combine, we don't go. Actually he quotes the Kaf HaChaim as well over there. He said that the Sephardim do not have the custom to follow Magen Avraham. Though did he say that? Tom, you wrote me a note before. Well, you tell me. Oh, Sephardim. Okay, you tell me someone else says not.
C'est Yalkut Yosef, who does
Okay, let me just. Okay, so let's just finish this topic. So what comes out from Mishnah Berurah? Okay. Yeah. Who the Pat Lechem says it? Okay. No. All right. Okay. I want to finish with Nekuda. Okay, let's do 5 minutes just to finish off. So, the Ramoshe Feinstein writes something very nice here, number 4. אבל כאשר במדינה זו, in this country, in America, מברכת השם יתברך, from the blessing of Hashem, רגילים לאכול הרבה, us in America, you see a lot, הרבה דברים בסעודה, and therefore ממעטים ממילא בכלל לחם. People today eat less bread because the כנאי נהורה, והמגן אברהם כתב שהגביעות סעודה עם אכל עם בשר ודברים אחרים, הוא כשיעור הפת, כשאוכלים עם בשר ודברים אחרים. The מגן אברהם says you combine. Therefore, out of this, you have to be very careful. Shelo yochal mini cakes, the small cakes which have a tzurat denama, they look like bread, basically all the things which are pata b'kisnim. Why? The imyo chalaf me'at cake. You have crackers, let's say, which sometimes kishur pat shochel v'seuda. Shel Magen Avraham nachshav ki'ut seuda. According to the Magen Avraham, it's going to be a big problem because he combined with bread.
Even separately.
He says, therefore, k'shkasher lo l'sher lo yechal cake as. If it's hard to measure, it's better not to eat the cake because then you've got a problem. Okay, so he said the person
That's not how it is.
should make sure not to, whenever meal, don't have a combination of 4 kabetzim of pata b'kisnim with other food.
Yeah, you understand that if you're having like a cracker with hummus or stuff like that. But if you're just having a cracker alone,
Yeah.
and then later you just
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's see what's considered separate. But lemaseh, according to Rav Moshe, he comes out that he writes himself, you go to a wedding, you don't want to wash. So don't eat any pata b'kisnim, because the moment you start eating pata b'kisnim, then you have a problem that could be, I don't know, maybe you need a kazait. Let's say you have a kazait of crackers or other things together with all the food. It could be a big problem according to Ashkenazim, according to Magen Avraham, and according to Tzchak Levi, Sephardim also should take on Magen Avraham. I don't know. According to Seth says you don't have to worry about it, but according to him you have to be careful. So if so, let me just finish with one point. If so, I've got a big kasha on the olam, big kasha on the world. Why is it that the average kiddush? By the way, I was sitting next to this Rav Alexander, whatever, what's his name again? I forgot. V'zot habracha. So he used to tell me, okay, so today's burekas and rice and salad, whatever. Ooh, it's a big problem. You combine the whole thing. No, so he told me first eat the mezonot, se ala michya, Danny. You finish your meal of mezonot. Now have your potato or whatever you have next to it. Huh? Or the other way around, yeah. But break into 2.
don't have this in mind.
I don't know.
You don't even the opposite. You just eat the shakol adama. Not the end.
Yeah, no, you eat all the hummus, all the mayonnaise, all the everything, and then you dip your cracker in it. All right. So, okay, so now comes the big question, and this Rabbi said you can't go home before hearing this. So why the average kiddush on Shabbat morning, whether it's temimim, whether it's Abu Draham or anything, people eat. Okay. So many people eat crackers and other kind of pata b'kisnin in amount which are much greater than the 4 kabetzim. All right. Even I'm saying forget about the combination. You go to Magen Avraham. So how do you solve this? So there are 4 answers to the question. 4 answers to the question why, to explain why the world is not makpid. Answer number 1: 4 possible approaches. The first one that many people follow the Gaon Mivilna, not like Mishabura, they follow has to be something they kover Seuda mamash. And when you eat in a kiddush, it's not like a mamash Seuda. For some people anyway. Some people tell me, no, I said, I go to Kiddush and I say, no, I don't need too much. I've got a meal after. He says, no. I told my wife, when the food comes, you have to enjoy it when it comes. You worry about it, you come home later. You have to enjoy it when it's here. But apparently, no. Okay. So one explanation is, maybe they eat more than 4 kabetzim, but not to the extent that it's a proper Seuda. This is one approach. Second approach, that they're very careful to have only tavshil mezonot. The second category, not pata b'kisnin, to make sure that the mezonot they eat is, for example, pasta or maybe a shami kugel. According to Sam, like Shai was saying, it might be machloket by shami kugel. Even large quantity, you'll never need to bench for it. The third approach, which is maybe the most that will save us, you have mezonot which is masek dera. Which is not pata b'kisnin for sure not. And the third one, this is mamash a lifesaver. Aruch HaShulchan. So let's read. It's a bit long, but it's beautiful to read it. It's very easy read. It's on your book, on your mind. Command number 5. Veda shekama gdolim tzaku kruchya. Many gdolim were screaming like a kruchya. I think it's a kind of bird that screams. He says, "Al mashin pashet bedorenu." Unfortunately, in our generation, the whole country, whenever there's a simcha, they make a table with lots of fish, all they do is mezonot, and then they eat a lot of these mezonot things, ואין שום ספק בזה, צריכים ליטול ידיהם והמוציא ברכת המזון. I've got no ספק. You have to say את ידיים, ברכת המזון, everything. ואפילו, אם יזהרו שלא לאכול, first of all, they eat too much bread, too much of those cakes. And even if they're careful not to eat too much of this pastry, מכל מקום, you've got the גדולים who say that if you sever with everything else together, even with a bit of bread, and קל וחומר, people eat 4 קבצים, and only a few יראים, he says, נזהרים, when they sit by the table, not eat too much, or they eat a dime and a motziv. This is the odd ones out. Most people don't do this, אבל רוב המון ישראל אין שומרים עצמם מזה, על כן ודאי חלילה, חס ושלום to do this, אך אין בידינו למחות כידוע, what can I do? How can I stop people eating at the Kiddush? Okay, I can't do it. And then he's got a לימוד זכות. Listen to this beautiful לימוד זכות. וכדי ללמד קצת זכות, נראה לעניות דעתי כולה, is making a דיוק לפי לשון הזריף. What does the Rif write? The לשון of the Rif is the following. איכה דאכל בה בתורת כיסנין, if you eat it as a כיסנין approach, if you eat it as a cake, then it's מזונות. ואיכה דאכל בתורת קביעות סעודה, if you eat it with a mindset of קביעות סעודה, it's המוציא. Which means, משמע בלשונו, is that's right. משמע, it's משמע from here, זה אינו תלוי בשיעור, in a Rif it's not a question of measurement, it's אלא באופן אכילה, the way you eat it.
So this is my lunch for today.
That's right.
Oh, he's got a problem.
Yeah, but
Oh, so he says, it's the way we, Ben,
You know, that we have some examples of
This can work in the opposite direction down to one side.
okay,
But this can work in the opposite direction.
You have one
People
slack
that
with
come with
lunch,
breakfast,
and you have
and they have to get something, it's only mizanot, that's breakfast.
yeah,
So it doesn't help.
נכון, נכון, נכון. Oh, exactly, continue. So, Umash, רבותיי, the challenge is waiting. The challenge is going to be overcooked. Wait. Umash ma b'lshono, de'eno talui b'kvi. Okay, says, listen to the definition. He says, listen, רבותיי, with me? Ben, so it's got to do with the way you prepare yourself for the Seuda. וזה ידוע, it's known, שבאכילת סעודה גמורה, when you eat a proper meal, פושטים הבגדים העליונים, you take off your jacket, יושבים שולחן, eat around the table, אבל באכילות אלו, this kind of kiddush, חוטבים ואוכלים, you just grab, if davening is finished, you come out with your coat, with your hat, you know, ואוכלים כמו שהן, בלי הכנה, without preparing yourself, ויש אוכלים מאומת, some people are eating standing, ומהלך, they're walking from table to table, הידוע, as it's known, וסוברים, and they say this is not קביעות סעודה, and that's why it says, כל שכים קובעים, that's why people don't call it קביעות סעודה, and therefore, even if, that's maybe the chidush, even for you, this is my lunch, but if the oilam, the people don't call it קביעות סעודה, if you take that kula as well, it might not be even a problem, but, however, this is just a לימוד זכות, בכל ירא אלוקים. Anybody who is God-fearing, ירחק את עצמו מזה, והוא רחום יחבר הבאים. Okay, we already said ערבית, so. Okay, very good. So, what? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, certificate of that's what you say.
Yeah. If it's a
fine anyway.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, let's just finish up, רבותיי. Okay, so that's the Aruch HaShulchan. It's very interesting. Rabbi Osher Bayles, Shlita, writes that many rely on this opinion, even though the Aruch HaShulchan himself, he says you should abstain from it, but the man says many people rely on that Shita. And the last approach, and we finish with this, is Rav Nebenzahl Shlita. It's interesting, Chidush. He said when you calculate the amount of food that is included in the Arba Kabetzim, yeah, this Magen Avraham, it's only the food she's eaten with the actual bread. He says that the dips, the herring, which is eaten with a cracker. But if you eat other things, kogels and other things, not with it, then it's for sure not mitzaref. So it comes out with, okay, so there are 4 svarot with here. The first svara, why people eat in a kiddush, because they're going to go on. Okay, just summarize. So in a kiddush, why do people not wash before a kiddush? One opinion is because you follow Gom Mevinas, you say Arba Kavetzim is not enough, you have to have much more. The second shita, you only eat bread, which is kedera, which is a dish, a cooked whatever, like pasta, not bread. Third one is Aruch HaShulchan. It's a way we are eating, which is more like a not kviut. And the fourth one is Rav Leventhal, who says, I agree with Magen Avraham that you combine. That's assuming you're not eating too many cakes. The combination is only what you have together with the bread. So Lamase, it's always good to be conscious in a kiddush due to all these halachic issues that we mentioned here. And secondly, you have to know this: the Mishabura, the Biur Halacha in Siman Resh Mem Tet, Dibur Matchin Mutar, he writes over there that it's improper to fill yourself before a Shabbat meal. You have to come to Seudat Shabbat with a good appetite. You can't fresh eat too much and you come to Seudat, you're not even hungry anymore. It's disrespectful for the Shabbat. So that okay. Otherwise, Yeshem Yismor, Chazak Baruch everybody. Now it's so see you soon. The guys, the Charlotte is coming. 1 second.